Printify has recently announced an expansion of their product catalog into white label consumer packaged goods, including skincare products, coffee, and health supplements. Before diving into selling these products in your sales channel, it's important to take a second and think about the important considerations and how these products are different from the traditional print-on-demand products like t-shirts, mugs, and gift items. So in this video, we're going to talk about those important things to keep in mind. All right, so at the time that I'm recording this, there isn't a ton of information on Printify's site and in their help articles about these new types of products yet. I'm sure they're going to be adding a lot more information about them. As of the date that I'm recording this, you can currently only sell skincare products. They have a small selection available. They don't have the coffee and health supplements available yet, but those are on the way. And before we get into too much detail, I also want to point out, where can you currently sell these right now? Well, you definitely cannot sell these types of products on Etsy because they don't meet the Etsy handmade policy. These are finished products that someone else made and you're just putting your label on them basically. However, also as of the date I'm recording this in February 2024, those products are not available yet on the TikTok shop sales channel as well as through the Walmart sales channel, but they will be available at some point in the future. So currently you can sell them through Shopify and other sales channels that Printify connects with, but you will eventually be able to also sell them through Walmart and TikTok. And as I mentioned, the three categories of products that will be available are skincare or beauty products, health supplements, and coffee. Now, of the skincare or beauty products that are available right now, just to give you a quick preview of what that is, there are serums and oils like hyaluronic acid, retinol, and a vitamin boost serum. And these products, as well as the coffee and the health supplements, are white label products. It is a finished product. You don't have control over the product itself. Printify sources them. They are in plain packaging, and then you design the labels that go on them. So you come up with a brand name for them, and then you design the labels. That's basically the extent of your involvement. So you're not selling a design like you are on a t-shirt or a mug or a sweatshirt. You are selling basically a branded version of an existing product. All right, so with those basics out of the way, let's talk through some of the important considerations that I think you really need to take some time and think about if you're interested in selling these products. First of all, you need to consider whether they fit with a current brand that you are operating through a sales channel or whether you need to create something new. So assuming you've already decided that you definitely want to sell these products, you should take some time and think about whether they fit with a current brand that you're operating. Like maybe you operate a brand in a Shopify store and your line of clothing and accessories is already geared towards fitness and health and well-being, then maybe selling some health products through that same store would make sense. But I think in a lot of cases, it probably won't make sense for you to sell these white label products through the existing store or brand or sales channel that you currently sell your print-on-demand products. And certainly if they're not going to be available in your sales channel. For example, on my channel here, we mostly talk about selling print-on-demand on Etsy. So if you're an Etsy seller, you're not going to be able to sell these products through Etsy. So if you want to sell them, you'll have to go explore a different sales channel. So that's the main big consideration if you've already decided you want to get into selling these products. But let's talk about the considerations when it comes to deciding whether you want to get into selling these products at all. Now, I should point out, I'm directing these considerations more towards individual sellers, sole proprietors, people that don't have an LLC and operate, a bunch of different sales channels currently. If you are selling, on Etsy and Redbubble and you're just by yourself, this is kind of who I'm talking to. If you already run a multi-sales channel business and you've established business entities, you're not necessarily going to be quite as concerned with the considerations that I'm going to talk about. But before you click off this video, if that is you, if you do have an LLC and you already operate multiple businesses, these things still apply to you, so it's still an important part of the thought process. There are two types of risk that you need to consider before selling white label consumer goods that are products that people use on their skin or products that they're going to consume, like health supplements or food. Now, as print-on-demand sellers, we are already familiar with part of one of these risks, but we're not so much familiar or worried about the other risk. So the two types of risks are customer service risk, and that really is just a matter of how much of an issue is the customer service side of the business going to cause you? How much trouble is it going to be, basically? And the second type of risk is legal risk. So we'll talk about legal risk in just a moment. First, let's talk about customer service risk and how these products differ from, say, t-shirts and mugs. This type of risk does exist with more traditional print-on-demand products, but from a customer service standpoint, the risk that you run, let's say you have a shop and all you sell is mugs. The risks involved with selling mugs from a customer service standpoint include the print coming out incorrect, either just a bad quality print, or maybe it's not level, it's not straight, or the mug arrives broken. Maybe it's damaged during shipping, the handle breaks off. Those things are the main risks for selling mugs. And for sellers, there are established processes to sort of mitigate those risks. With Printify and Printful and Gelato, if a customer receives a broken mug, you can send a picture in through the support channel and have a replacement sent without any additional cost to you. And similar risks apply to selling apparel from a customer service standpoint, but apparel adds a little bit of additional risk because you run the risk of somebody buying something and it doesn't fit. It's not the right size. And there also is a little bit more of a general risk that customers may just not like the product once they receive it because, clothing can be very subjective. So you have a little bit more risk with apparel because there are reasons why somebody may ask for a refund that you cannot go and have fulfilled with your print-on-demand platform without incurring additional costs. So occasionally, you might have to give a refund to somebody to sort of satisfy them, even though you're going to lose some money. So those are the types of customer service risks involved with selling apparel and mugs and gift items like that. A fair amount of the risk is covered by an established practice where you can get a replacement or a refund without any out-of-pocket expense. Now let's consider customer service risks for consumer products like skincare products, health supplements, and food or coffee. Now, this is going to be my opinion, so let me know down in the comments whether you agree or disagree, but I believe there is a much larger risk here for customers to just generally not be happy with the product because there's a lot of subjectivity and variability with regard to skincare products, health supplements, and food. With food or coffee specifically, whether you like it or not is very subjective. Then when we move to skincare beauty products, you're going to have some people that say, I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the way it makes my skin feel. I'm just not happy with it. And with health supplements, you can have people saying, I didn't like the taste of it. I don't want to use it because it tastes bad. So this kind of general, I just don't like it and I wish I didn't buy it sentiment, I think is more likely to come up with these types of products. And so it's important to think about what's the recourse for you as a seller if you do get an increase in those types of customer service sort of complaints. Well, right now, there's nothing on Printify's website that I could find that describes any different return or refund policy with regard to these white label products versus their existing policy for print-on-demand products. And their existing policy is they don't give refunds. There are no refunds unless there's a product defect. If it's a broken product, if the print didn't come out correctly, they give those refunds and replacements. But I don't see anything published yet that describes a different policy for these new white label products. So I believe that means you are at a greater risk of having to lose money out of pocket to refund customers who are upset because they just don't like the product. And if you don't refund customers who are unhappy about the product, that can lead to an increase in one-star reviews. The next type of risk that applies to this category of products that does not apply to apparel or mugs is the product didn't work type of customer service risk. So a health supplement that the person doesn't see results from would lead them to say, it's a fine product, but it didn't work. Skincare products has this risk as well because if the product is supposed to have a certain type of result for your skin and the customer doesn't see that result, again, they can say, I don't have a big problem with it, but it just didn't work. This is something that just doesn't really come up with apparel products and mugs and things like that. There are some gift items that have functionality to them where you might get a complaint saying the product didn't work. But it's just, in my opinion, again, much more likely that you would be getting these types of complaints saying the product didn't work with skincare and with health supplements. And the last type of risk is, again, something that really just doesn't come up with more traditional print-on-demand products, and that would be the more harsh, significant, or extreme examples of not only am I not happy with this, but I had a bad reaction to it. I had an allergic reaction to this skincare product, or I had a bad, stomach reaction to this healthcare product. Anytime you sell something that people are going to consume or put on their skin, you have this risk that somebody is going to have a bad reaction to the product, and that comes back to you because you sold them the product. So that leads me into the category of legal risk. Now, anytime you're selling products, operating a business, whether it's in person or online, There's never zero legal risk, but selling print-on-demand products like t-shirts or mugs, you're running extremely low legal risk in operating that business as long as you're not infringing on intellectual property of others. So if you're not selling copyrighted, trademarked material in your designs, then you're running a very low legal risk business because there's really not inherent danger with the products that you're selling. But once you branch out into products that people put on their skin or they consume, now you have opened the door to this legal risk that somebody could say, I had an allergic reaction to this product, I had to go to the hospital, and it's your fault. So again, this one is my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice right now, so please don't mistake this as legal advice. But in my opinion, I don't want my personal liability connected to selling this type of product. So that is just how I feel about it. Again, this is not something I've found any information about on Printify's website about whether they will assume any of the liability with these products. So there could be, ways around some of these concerns that Printify shares information about later, but I don't know because it's not available yet, which is why I think it's really important to sit down and think through these things before deciding to just dive in and start selling these products. Now, I'm also not suggesting that nobody should sell these products, or that it's a bad opportunity and it's just a terrible idea. It can be a great opportunity. There's tons of sellers out there that sell these types of products and have successful businesses. So I just wanted to point out, especially for the individual seller, it's really important to go through these considerations and just think about all of those things before you just dive right into it. But it doesn't mean at all that it's a terrible idea or it's not a profitable business. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of these new products down in the comments. I will add a comment myself and I'll add to the description. If they add more of that info out there on their site, I will definitely come back and add links to those things in the description, and I'll pin a comment down below as well. Thanks everybody. See you next time.